All right, guys, we will go ahead and get started. You hear by the tone of the recording that we are recording now. That means no cussing and no dirty language. We're all salespeople. None of us have ever participated in any of that nonsense, that tomfoolery. So happy that everybody's here. This is the weekly Lead Champ Pro call where we talk about sales, what does Grady say, Jamie? Transferable sales ideas,
There it is.
as well as tech tips and tools for you to take your business to the next level. And today we're going to be talking to Jamie Cheerio, my partner in crime, on how he's going to increase his issue paid business by 50% without spending another dime. That's his plan, but he's been doing it. And I don't know his exact numbers, but he sold a bunch of insurance last week, all on quote free leads on something that we just haven't done before, right? It's not rocket science, but we found a great way to get referral business without really any extra work. If you can like click a couple extra buttons, you can do it too. And then we got some special stuff at the end of the call. But real quick, I do want to go over just a couple of wins for the week. All right, so from the Good News Channel, if you're not in our Discord, make sure at the top of your Lead Champ screen, you join the Discord. We have a bunch of things going on throughout the week, but of course, anytime there's anything that you absolutely need to know about your Lead Champ system, we're going to post it there first. But good news wins for the week. We have a Good News Channel. If you have a great conversation, something goes well, you sell something, something good happens, let us know about it, because our support team, they only hear about the things that don't go well. So if you have anything positive to share, please share it. That helps Nick to sleep better at night, and he could use the extra rest. So this week, so we're gonna hear from Jamie. He sold another $2,400 IUL off of beneficiary leads. Drake always dropping LCP in the chat. Sheila, this was awesome. You can go check this out. She put her first beneficiary contact into the system. It booked it. So 100% win right there. And then looks like Derek Robeson, he made his first sale on the oh no, he had a dry spell. That's what it was. He had a dry spell. He came back, but I did see somewhere in there. I think you sold a beneficiary lead, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Love that. You can go check out the Good Wins channel. And then the other thing is if you go to the one more thing, the daily activity and daily sales, anytime you hit the what happened button, a sale, it's going to pop into the channel so you can kind of see who's doing what, who's active, who's making sales. And we have a leaderboard. We have an all-time leaderboard. And I just popped this in here. We'll share this in the announcement chat for the weekly totals. So I'm going to read it off really, really quickly. In 10th place, we got Cole Kirby for the last week, 2,800. Elise Soapy, see her on 3,600. Thomas Bailey out in Hawaii, 4,400. Jamie Cheerio, 4,500. Myself, 4,700. Sheila Day close, 6,300. Sean Simpson, 6,700. F&D Financial Solutions, that's Drake and Francesca, 10,000. Adam Mostel, 12,000. He strictly sells so much because he has the best mustache, I'm convinced. And then Adam Markey, 12,700 for the week. And then, of course, you can go check out the top leaderboard for all-time sales. And that's there. And look, we have egos. We're salespeople. We love to compete. We love to be on top of the leaderboard. Give us gold stars, cookies, or extra things. That's all we really care about. So with that, Jamie, hey, man, I'm going to turn it to you. You crushed it this week. I don't know what your total was on the beneficiary leads, but I got a bunch of beneficiaries I'm going to send out later today. And the kind of the progression of the last couple of weeks is like we made the button and told everybody, hey, we're making this button. And then we explained the button last week. And then you went out and you made a bunch of sales with the button. And so, hey, man, tell us about it. What did you do? What do we need to do?
Yeah, 100%. I think that when it comes to generating free leads, I've always been afraid to be the person who's like, hey, if you could rate me on a scale of 1 to 10, how did I do? 10. Hey, is there anybody else who you think would love my 10 rated service? Like, that's a really cheesy way to get referrals. I've heard someone say it before. I would never actually say that, but like, that's what I'm like imagining when I'm thinking about asking for more names and numbers, and it feels super uncomfortable for me. I've never traditionally been the person who, like, when I got into insurance, I was terrified to even talk to my friends and family about it. Like, I didn't want to, like, ask anybody if they wanted to buy insurance. I just wanted to talk to leads who were raising their hands saying, I'm interested in insurance. So referrals was always something that scared me. Emergency response network was something that always intrigued me, but still something where I was kind of like, how do I make that transition of, hey, let's get 5 names for your emergency response network. And these are people that are not your beneficiary that are going to support your beneficiary in case something happens to you. And really, it was just a cheap way to get a referral. And then we go to the Ignite event, and Christina Andy gets on stage and she talks about how she gets the beneficiary. And I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. I've sold a lot of insurance. I've heard the referral thing, heard the emergency response network thing. It was like this huge light bulb went off, and like, the emoji with like the head exploding, because I was like, the emergency response network is not the beneficiary. And I'm like, why aren't we talking to the beneficiary? Like, that just, like, it rocked me. I didn't understand why we haven't been doing this sooner. And then I find out that other people are doing it, but they're more disciplined than me. And they're the type of person who, when they say that they're going to call someone back, they do. They write down notes and they actually look at those notes and remind themselves, and they do what they say they're going to do. Me, I'm the type of person who I would like to have that much integrity, but I need automation to back me up so that the computer remembers to do things, because I don't. I'm the person who I would go into the home and I'd say, hey, Bob, it's going to be 24 to 48 hours before I know if you're approved. Don't worry. I'll call you to let you know you're approved. Bob's like, hey, where was my call? I was like, darn it, I forgot. And that's when I hired my first assistant, and my assistant started calling. But then guess what? Team started growing, and she's like, hey, I was answering contracting emails and I forgot to call them 48 hours later, because she's a human too. And then the whole point was, I wanted to make sure that the phone call got out to the person before the money came out of their account. All of those things were happening. And there's a reason why they were happening. Like, it was really important for me that I was on the same page with the client. And so now I had a human doing it. Now, humans make mistakes too. Humans get busy. She's got, I go on a tear and I sell 12 clients in a week. She's like, I got behind. I'm sorry. I didn't call people when they were supposed to get called. So now it's like, I'm already bad enough at that. Now I'm expected, as someone who has this like level of discipline and habits, who's just like a lead junkie trying to get the next sale, to also call your beneficiary, to also call your ERN, your referral. No, I'm moving on to the newest, most expensive lead first. I'm looking for the low hanging fruit. Like, because I'm busy. I'm moving on. I'm trying to do what's most important, which is help the person who's raising their hand the highest. That's it. I'm trying to help the person who's raising their hand the highest, the fastest. And that's why I have a dialer today. That's why I have Lead Champ Pro today, because it's going back and it's filling in the cracks. Like, it's going back and it's hitting people that I haven't been able to get a hold of for 18 months. Like, is it worth my time to dial those people right now? No. That's why I have automation texting them. Is it worth my time to be dialing leads that are 90 to 180 days old? No. What is worth my time is dialing the newest, most expensive leads first, right now. Because you know what? My dialer, she calls some people and she has 10 people answer and 6 hang up, and maybe she books 2, whatever. I call those same 10 people. If they answer the phone, like, if you're selling insurance and you have high intent leads, you're going to book 7, 8, 9, 10 of those people if you're dialing for yourself. So I know what is the lowest hanging fruit. That's the most important to me. So beneficiaries, what I think got me so fired up about it, we had this idea to create the button. That's great. But then in practice, I wasn't expecting how responsive the people were going to be. I was not expecting how easy of a layup it was going to be. And last week we talked a little bit more about like functionality of like, hey, here's the button and here's how you do it. We're not going to do a lot of that. Like, I might share my screen for a second. I really want to talk about like what that appointment looks like, what booking that appointment looks like, all of that, so we can get some of the words, and maybe Josh will hop in with, a few thoughts, if he has any questions. But the first message goes out after I fill it out, and it's, hey, Josh, this is Jamie. I'm Derek's insurance broker. He got a policy with me to leave some money behind for the beneficiary, if he passed away, became sick or disabled, whatever. I think message is way more eloquent than that. And then it's like, hey, they put you down as a beneficiary. I just need to go through the information with you for 4 minutes. Would today or tomorrow work? They either answer or they don't answer. If they don't answer, the following morning they get a message. Hey, Josh, again, this is Jamie, Derek's insurance broker. I just wanted to let you know they put you down as a beneficiary on their insurance policy. Just need to go through those details with you. Again, you go put somebody into the system, you'll see what those messages look like. The first day, I put 5 beneficiaries in. All 5 booked an appointment. All 5. That's ridiculous. So number one, the name drop's a big deal. Number two, people are selfish and they hear that they're the beneficiary on a life insurance policy. They want to know how much is mom leaving me? Is she leaving me $1 million? Is she leaving me 10,000? Like what's she leaving me? So people are selfish. So this is definitely like a greed moment where we're taking advantage of the fact that someone wants to know some of the details of the policy. Now, I'm not going to give all the details of the policy on the beneficiary appointment. I'll talk about that and why. We talked about it a little bit last week, but the people are answering. Yes, I can talk tomorrow. I have an appointment right after this. Literally, as soon as this call ends, I have a beneficiary appointment of a policy I sold yesterday. Policy was sold yesterday. It's before I even got off the phone call. I'm filling out the beneficiary button. And before I hung up, the son booked an appointment with me. I was still on the phone with mom. And the son booked an appointment with me before I got off the call. I already had another appointment, not just a name and a number. I already had another appointment before I hung up. So the power in just the beneficiary button, I think, is huge because it's low-hanging fruit for lazy people like me. I don't, even with the add referral button, which works really well, and the ERN button that works really well, there's going to be people like the Christina Andys of the world who are going to take advantage of that button, and she's going to go put in 20 referrals, and she's going to generate a bunch of appointments. She still has to ask the uncomfortable question of, you got any friends and family who want life insurance? I just don't do that. I think I probably should. She'll take advantage of that. But guess what has to happen on every single insurance appointment, whether you want to or not? You need a beneficiary. So in the past, I'm going through an appointment. I'm sitting down with Josh, and Josh has his wife and his 2 daughters. In the past, I'd be like, all right, wife's the beneficiary? Yep. Okay, let's pretend Josh is, 20 years older, and he's got adult children, the whole deal. What I would have done in the past is I would have just put his wife down as the beneficiary, not even asked her phone number, and just put Michelle Lockhart, spouse, submit. Done. Now, taking an extra 15 to 20 seconds, be like, okay, got Michelle Lockhart. What's her phone number? Okay, why do you need her phone number? Well, in case something happens, we need to make sure we can contact her. And also, if this gets approved, Josh, do I have your permission to reach out to Michelle with a text message, just letting her know that I'm your insurance broker, so she has my cell phone number in case something happens, so she has the name of the company, all that stuff? Everybody says absolutely. I've only had maybe once or twice now where somebody's been like, I don't know, because they're trying to like leave the life insurance as more of a gift and like I don't know, family drama stuff. That stuff's gonna happen. So every now and then you might not get the phone number. But so far, like 98% of the time, I guess I can't say 98 because I don't have that much data. 80% of the time so far, people have said, yes, absolutely. Here's that person's phone number. When I say, hey, do I have your permission to reach out to them, letting them know that they're a beneficiary on a policy? Yes. So taking just 2 more seconds to snag that information. So, I got my iPad, I got my financial inventory, and I'm writing down the beneficiary section. And I'm like, okay, Michelle Lockhart, wife. Hey, what's Michelle's phone number? I'm writing that down. If you're doing notes on your computer, notes in LeadChamp, whatever, write it down somewhere because you're just going to need to come back to it at some point because beneficiary, it's 60% of the way through the application. So you're not done yet. So snag that info right there, come back to it. Josh has 2 kids. Let's say they're adult children. In the past, let's say Josh had 7 kids. I'd be like, hey, Josh, who's your oldest or most responsible child? I would do that always just to save time. I'm trying to get through the appointment. I remember getting really prideful about the fact that I would like run an American Eagle appointment and I'd get done with the application in like 22 minutes. And I'd be like, I was off the phone so fast. Let's go. What if I got off the phone in 25 minutes instead of 22 minutes because I spent just a few more minutes getting all the beneficiaries? So now, like I've had so many times, but I have 6 kids. I want to split it up evenly. I go, yeah, you could split it up evenly, but how about we just do the oldest or most responsible kid? They go, yeah, that makes more sense. Like the amount of times I've shot myself in the foot by doing that. I mean, also I didn't have the automation back then, so I wouldn't have done anything with it if I would have got their phone number. So, you know, hindsight 2020. But now slow down for a second. You got 3 kids, you got 4 kids. Okay, let's split this up 34, 33, 33. Let's split this up 50, 50, 25, 25, 25. I think the most beneficiaries you can do is 6 on an Americo application. I don't know about all the other ones. Um, but snag all their names, all their relationships, all their phone numbers. One little thing I've learned, this is just one thing I want to throw in there for everybody. Ask what state they live in. Okay, ask what state they live in. I didn't realize that. But this is going to be good for time zones. So when you're filling out that beneficiary form, it asks what state they live in. I just was putting down the same state that like their parents or whoever the insured was. And I had a couple of people where I put down, North Carolina, and they're like, no, I'm actually in Connecticut. Ended up not mattering because it was all Eastern time, but just something to think about that I didn't realize as we were building this. Just ask what state they live in. And that'll help you for time zone purposes because AI has booked all of these appointments for me. So if AI knows their time zone, then AI is going to be able to help book that appointment for you. So yeah, that's been huge. So I snag all their info. I go through the entire application, and then again, I go through the whole thing. And then before I get off, I don't know about you guys. I fill out the what happened button while I'm on the phone with the client, so I don't forget. I know some of you guys, you finish the sale and then you go back and fill out all your what happened buttons at the end of the night. I think that's, you know, stupid. I'm trying to think of a more politically correct term. You should just do it. Because then you go, hey, Bob, do you see the text message and the email that just came through with all the policy details? Like you should do that. It's credibility. Instead of, all right, Bob, we'll let you know. Bye. Like they're like, what just happened? Did I just get like swindled? Like I don't like no, you applied for insurance. Here's everything we applied for. So I'm going ahead and I'm doing the what happened button. I'm like, all right, hey, can you just hold for like 30 seconds, a minute? I'm just getting your beneficiary info in here. Click the add beneficiary button. Okay, Michelle Lockhart, Scarlett Lockhart, Sienna Lockhart, phone numbers, states, relationship, submit. And as soon as you do that, a new contact is created. And then it is going to use like the custom fields or custom values to be like, hey, blank, this is Jamie, Josh's insurance broker. Okay. And then it's just going to continue on. And you'll have a little note section that says beneficiary of. So it'll be like beneficiary of Josh Lockhart, relationship, spouse. So you'll see that in your notes section. If for whatever reason that's not populating, let us know. We'll fix it, but that's what it's supposed to look like. The notes section, beneficiary of, relationship. So now when you go to get on the phone with that person, you can see who that person is. Also the contact source. So like if you like see like your lead source, a lot of times you guys will see final expense, IUL, it'll say beneficiary. Okay. So if you're trying to like go and call all your beneficiary leads or do like a smart list or something, or you're power dialing and you're like, what kind of lead is this? Look at the contact source. It's going to say beneficiary. It's going to say referral. It's going to say ERN. It's going to say IUL, mortgage protection, whatever type of lead it is what's going to show up there. So, long and short of it is my first 3 appointments, that I did, all 3 submitted an application. One of them just had kidney transplant, so they couldn't qualify for anything, but I tried anyways, and they were too young, so they even got denied for like Transamerica. So it was a whole thing. But all 3 went through an entire application, gave me their banking info, their social, did an entire application with me. One of the little things, and this is kind of a shameless tactic that I used. I had one guy, it was the husband of the wife, the husband, and he goes, well, I think I need to think about it. And I go, hey, don't worry about it. Your wife actually already thought about it. She thought it was a good idea. She got one and she thought that you should get one too. So let's just go ahead and take care of it. He goes, okay, yeah, she thought about it. It's probably fine. Let's do it. So like, hey, like same thing, like, hey, my mom, I need to think about it. Don't even worry about it. Your mom thought about it already. She thought it was a good idea. And she wanted me to talk to you about getting the exact same thing that she got. So I've used that a couple of times, maybe not the best sales tactic, but it worked. I thought it was funny, and people agreed with it, and I was able to submit an application. So I've submitted, a husband when the wife was the original insured. I submitted 2 daughters. Lady had 2 daughters. She was like a $400 a month sale. The The mom was, and then each daughter was $200 a month. So right there, one sale turned into $800 a month because I snagged two beneficiaries. And I just basically was like, hey, uh, hey, Scarlett, just talk to your dad. He got an insurance policy. Let me actually back up. So I get on the phone with the beneficiary. I'll kind of talk about setting the table. So this is, same thing with everything. We need to get on the phone and give people somewhat of an agenda. No matter what it is, if it's the IUL appointment, mortgage protection, final expense, they need to know why they're there. They don't necessarily know that you're about to transition into talking about selling them a policy, but you do need, like, what is the main reason that they think they're there? It's to get the policy information on whoever's policy they're the beneficiary of. So for me, hey, Josh, or hey, Scarlett, just got off the phone with your dad. I got him set up with an insurance policy. Did he by chance, call you and tell you any details on that? Yes, no, etc. Well, remember when you filled out the what happened button and you got their why? You guys should really be writing a detailed why. So every time that I make a sale, I put the why. Josh got this IUL because he wanted to make sure that if he passed away, he could leave money behind for Michelle and the kids. He'd have coverage if he became sick or disabled, and wanted to save for tax-free retirement. Pretty generic, but like that goes on his submitted approved message. And then when I have Josh's contact and Scarlett's contact up, I'm looking at that and I'm like, yeah, your dad wanted to make sure that if something happened, your family was taken care of and he could save for tax-free retirement. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, great. Hey, grab a pen and paper, or I can send you a text, whichever one's easier, with just some basic policy details. Now, my philosophy here, Josh and I talked about this a lot. You to each your own. I think you're going to create some family drama if you go about giving policy details, like how much somebody's getting, what percentage somebody's getting. I think you're setting yourself up for a headache and some drama if you give out all those details. So the details that I'm giving out are the name of the company's customer service phone number, and their website. And then in my cell phone number, letting them know that they're the beneficiary, and letting them know that a physical policy should be coming in the mail at some point to their parents' house. And I told their parents to put it in a folder, put it where they keep their safe stuff. So God forbid something happens, they need to call me and they need to find that policy. And hey, there's some details of this policy, how much, etc. If you want those details, I'm not at liberty to tell you that, but you can always ask your mom if she feels comfortable telling you specifically how much coverage she got or how she split it up. That's totally up to her. All that I'm going to let you know is who the company is, and God forbid something happens, you can call me, and myself, my office, will help you guys navigate paperwork, figure out how to log in. If for whatever reason, you can't find the policy, we'll get another copy of the policy sent out. We'll figure it out. So I'm letting them know all of those things, and just letting them know that we're going to be their main point of contact, or God forbid they can't get a hold of me, they can call the company and they at least know that. And I'm giving policy numbers too. Policy numbers, okay. Hey, here's the policy number. Save this somewhere important. And they're like, okay, thank you so much. And I'm just making sure, and this is all taking about 5 minutes, making sure they understand what to do if a claim needs to be made. That's it. Going through that. And then just the transition. I haven't perfected the transition at all. My transition, honestly, is kind of cringe, to be honest. And I think somebody on here is going to be so much better than me at this, and I can't wait to learn from you. My transition has honestly been, similar to me overcoming that objection of like, hey, your dad was saying that he thinks that this would be a policy that would be really good for you as well. Do you want to see what it looks like for you? Like, and so far, everyone's been like, yeah, sure. So like, again, I don't have like some super fancy like sales technique to like psychologically move them towards the sale. But once I am showing them the options, I'm very assumptive. I'm going through what it looks like for them. I'm starting it off with a normal financial inventory, finding out their situation. And then guess what? They have dependents, they have beneficiaries. And if this is done correctly, I should be able to snag another one or two beneficiaries. And that should continue on and continue on and continue on. So yeah, you're going to have people that you get on. I had a couple people who were like, you know what? No, I don't need it. I'm good. Okay. It was a free lead anyways. But I've had 5 people now who have been the easiest layup sales that I've ever had. None of them have been under $100. Every single one of them have been 100, 200, $300 a month. So my ROI has been boosted. So for me, I look at it as if I go and I make, I don't know, I'm currently submitting probably 4 to 6 applications a week, IUL. If I can get at least one beneficiary off of every single one of those people, that's getting myself, let's say I'm doing 6 apps a week and I just get one beneficiary. That's 24 free leads. And out of that, let's say 80% of them go ahead and book an appointment with me. I've now added, you know, 16 to 20 appointments to my calendar for the month. And of that, so far I've had a pretty good closing percentage, but of that, maybe even 1/3 actually buy something additional. I mean, I could easily be adding an additional, I don't know, if I'm doing an average of 200 bucks a month, easily could be adding an additional 10 grand a month to what I'm doing. And that's me just really low conservative numbers. That's with me getting one beneficiary per policy. What if I really worked hard and I stretched and I got 2 beneficiaries and 2 contingents? Like, what if I really did that? Like, how many more names and numbers, especially when I'm not giving exact, I'm not calling me like, hey, Scarlett, just wanted to let you know you're the contingent beneficiary. And I want to let you know you actually got less than everyone else. Like, I'm not going to do that. You're a beneficiary on this policy. You need to know that this policy exists. That's it, period. So, keeping it super simple, I've been able to create more conversations. So far, I was able to write 10,000 last week, specifically on beneficiary leads, which is massive. And I've only probably put in a total of 10 beneficiary leads, which is wild. Of those 10, I booked 8. Of those 8, I sold 5. It just feels kind of like a cheat code. And I feel kind of like I feel selfish not telling everybody you should go do it because it was really easy is not the right word. I still had to call people, but it was pretty simple. Um, Josh, do you have any follow up to that? Any questions or anything process related?
I mean, you hit it. I mean, my biggest question was going to be like, what's your transition? But you said it, and I think
It's not
again,
good, but it worked. So somebody else on here is way better and more slick than me. Please tell me. I'll use your transition.
yeah, I think the main point is you just have to ask, you
Yeah.
know, like whether it's like, hey, I help so and so. If you have a minute, let's look at what the best options are for you, or
Yeah.
hey, do you mind taking 2 minutes and I'll see what, the same option for you, like whatever, right? Like the point is, don't chicken out, just ask and be assumptive, and you'll be fine, right? And anybody who's heard Jamie sell on dials for more than 5 minutes, like that's the thing, is just being assumptive, and you'll be fine. So
Let's get some
I'll
questions.
ask, are you going back through existing clients and adding? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Jamie said, you said, hey, another 16 to 20 appointments a month, right? So like just for math's sake, if you went out and bought new leads and then you called the leads and then set some appointments and then half showed, half didn't, you would have to go buy at least 100 leads at $20 to $30 a pop. That's an extra like $2,000 to $3,000 a month that you would have to spend on leads to get similar results as Jamie, right? So like, now instead of like, oh man, I hope I get some sales this week. It's like, yeah, the sales will come if you have enough appointments. We all know that, right? Like I see everybody's face on everybody on the call right here. You're all pretty good at selling, right? Now it's like, how many beneficiaries can I collect, right? So like now I'm more excited to do annual reviews, right?
That's what I wanted to make sure we touched on before we moved on to our special thing, is annual reviews. I've done annual reviews. I've been lazy about annual reviews. I've been selling for 5 years. I waited 2.5 years to do my first annual review. So of course I had like 400 clients to go through, 500 clients, and I'm like, hey, let's do your annual review. Like it's been 3 years. I'm like, it's okay. We've been really behind because of COVID. I just blamed things. I'm like, all right, let's get on the phone. Let's do your annual review. And what was my on like? So it's like, what's an annual review supposed to be? On the surface, to the client, the annual review is, oh, we're just going to go over my policy and see if I have any questions. Well, under the surface, to us, we're trying to sell them more insurance. Let's just be honest. So I learned things like, yeah, Mary, I know when we met back in 2020, we got you a $10,000 policy for burial, but I don't know if you've been watching the news, but like inflation's crazy. That's all they can talk about. So really, the industry experts are saying $10,000 isn't going to cut it anymore. A $10,000 policy really should be 15 or 20. Wouldn't you agree? That was my transition for annual reviews all day. Hey, your mortgage protection, inflation, the likelihood of you having to refinance in the next couple of years is probably pretty high because everyone's having a hard time. Like that 225 really should be 275 or 300. I just throw out random numbers. They'd be like, would you agree? And they would always agree. And then they'd say, I can't afford it, or let's do something. Let's look at some options. So I did that for annual reviews for probably 3 months. I sold, I don't know, my first year doing annual reviews, I added probably 50 to 70 grand in premium doing annual reviews. Then what happened the following year? Following year, they're like, Jamie, you sold me more insurance last year. I can't afford it anymore. So when I came back around for year two, just the pool was smaller. So of course, like when I had 500 clients built up in the past, of course I'm going to get some low hanging fruit and sell more insurance. Like if you can sell more insurance, great. But now I'm really excited to go back and do those annual reviews to collect beneficiaries, to collect referrals, to collect ERN. That was something I never ever even thought was possible. I mean, and I just not possible, but like I just never crossed my mind because I'm just kind of like I did my annual review. So I've got probably 30 annual reviews sitting in my annual review pipeline right now that need to be completed that I have not talked to. Because I was like, I already sold them more insurance last time. Like they're just gonna tell me the same thing. Like, Jamie, I can't afford it anymore. Versus, hey, Josh, hey, can you believe it's been a year? Can you believe it's been 2 years? No, it's crazy. How's your wife doing? Oh, she's doing good. Okay, awesome. Hey, just wanted to confirm you still got track of your policy, right? Yeah, it's in the safe. Okay, perfect. Just wanted to know if you lose track of it, let me know. We'll get another policy sent out to you, etc. Hey, and you've got 300,000 in coverage, and it's an IUL, so it's never going to expire. Just go over the benefits one more time. Okay, great. That all makes sense. Do you have any questions about your policy? Okay, one thing I noticed I've got your benefit. I think the beneficiary was your son, right? Yeah. I realized like he's in the application somewhere. Like if he calls Americo, they'll have his name, but we don't have his phone number, and I actually don't have his name. So like just for my records, just in case something happens, claim needs to be made, I want to make sure I get my cell phone number to him, make sure he knows where the policy is. Is that cool with you? Yeah. Okay, what's your son's name? What state does he live in? And, what's his phone number? Okay, great. Like we should be double, triple, quadruple checking that with all of our clients. Hey, go, you got your policy, go grab it. Hey, how many beneficiaries do we put down? Well, guess what? You know that there's also a change of beneficiary form. Like, oh, we only have the oldest son down. I got 3 kids. Well, Mary, we should go ahead and we should update that. Let's log in, let's download the add beneficiary form, and let me get all their names and numbers. And then I'll send you that and we can get that added. There's so many different opportunities.
No, that's great. I have a call scheduled tonight. A client, she got the client text about the emergency response network,
Yep.
and she texted me. She's like, "Oh, hey, I want to add a couple." And I went and looked at her account in LeadChamp, and she's got 3 current beneficiaries, but we don't have their phone numbers. So instead of just being like, "Oh yeah, fill it out or whatever," I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, let's jump on the phone." So we're gonna get the information on those 3, and then she wants to add her brother and sisters. That's 5. Right. So now it's like before I'd be like, yeah, whatever, I want to help, but like I'd have my assistant maybe hit her up or whatever. But now I'm like, I want to get on the phone with her, make sure we get all 5 contact information. That's 5 referrals right there. Right.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense to spend those extra couple minutes.
It really does. I mean, this is money making activities. So all the times that like you have old clients calling you and you're afraid that they're going to cancel, answer the phone, calm them down, and get their beneficiary's phone number. Like that's what you should be doing. Maybe they cancel, maybe they don't. What if you calm them down and you answer their question and they stay, and then you realize you don't have their beneficiary's phone number and you get a lead out of it?
Yeah.
So answer the phone for your clients, call them back. I know there's probably 4 people on here that have 17 voicemails from clients who have questions about their policies that you're not calling back because that's me. And if it's me, I know it's you. So call your clients back.
That's awesome. Yeah. Quentin just texted. He just added 2 beneficiaries. One of them booked an appointment. That's great. Robert, I don't know how to say your last name, man. I'm sorry.
You didn't take Spanish class?
I
Areno.
I did not. Yeah, missed that
I'm
one.
probably saying it wrong too. So
Just got started. Have a few leads come in. 2 self-booked. $125,000 annuity opportunity. Another one wants to roll over 165,000 on the leads. Shout out to Jacob for yeah. I mean, for anybody who is like, yeah, I want to dabble and do more annuities. We've been crushing it on annuities. Bryce Stenger wrote some annuities. I just funded 100K and got some big ones. So yeah, we've been doing pretty well on annuities, which is pretty cool. All right, so that's beneficiaries. If you have any questions about beneficiaries, drop in the chat. I think it's pretty straightforward. You just have to ask, do it, presence of mind. So just to stamp it in your brain, write it down. Like I was talking to, one of my partners that we work together every day, Dawson. We're trying to get minimum 2 beneficiaries on every single call. That's our express goal. And if you do that, you write 5, 6 apps a week. Like you should be writing. Again, you should be writing a few thousand a week minimum in beneficiary leads. So like everybody's profitability is about to go through the roof that actually takes this serious. So I am excited for that. What else you got, Jamie?
I don't know. Do we end the call here?
You better tell us now, okay?
Derek is going to come put you in a chokehold.
That's right. All right, come find me. Uh, all right. Okay, so transitioning. So for a handful of select people, we're going to be letting in to mess around with the dialer this week. So give us a couple of days for the whole masses of everybody to get in. Um, Website for you to buy. That's the number one thing. So we're going to be manually bringing in a couple of people so they can get in, get an account, start messing around here. Hopefully today. But in terms of going to the website, purchasing, having a subscription, all of that, there's like one little issue that we have. But other than that, the actual dialer works. That's the main thing. So the website, that's easy. We can fix that. We'll get a few people manually in there, and some of you guys already know who you are. If you're just dying to get in there, and like you just have to hit us up and we'll let you know. But otherwise, we will give access to a few people today. Okay, so welcome to Connect. So we're not going to go super deep here. Okay, so one of the biggest things that people always are hitting us up about, Josh, is my pipeline in XYZ Power Dialer doesn't match my pipeline in Lead Champ Pro. And when we look at pipelines, what do we see? We see new lead, we see second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt, fifth attempt, seventh attempt. And as we were starting to build this, like one of the things we started to realize was that that's actually not the most accurate way for you to buzz through your leads because I'll have a lead that came in yesterday that put down that he makes 500K and I'll attempt him 9 times in a day if I have to. And it's like, am I dispositioning that person over into the bucket of seventh attempt? And then now he's sitting in the same bucket as all of the people that are a year or 2 years old. It doesn't actually make a lot of sense. So the way that we've set this up is that it's based on the age of the lead. So I was always told when I first got started, dial your newest, most expensive leads first. There's a couple of different ways that you can go ahead and filter this. But for me, I can see I've got 66 leads that are queued up here in my under 7 day new lead section. I've got 42 leads that are 8 days to 30 days old, and I've got 250 leads that are 31 to 90 days old. So for me, or Josh, how would you, if you were coming in here, how would you dial? Like, would you dial your new leads, your old leads, your no shows? Like, what would that look like for you?
Like this is really simple. And again, when I say we as a body of people, we're weird. Okay, we're weird. We're particular. Some people they like to call their seventh attempt West Coast final expense leads on Thursday between 12 and 3, and that's how their brain works. But it's real simple. Call your newest leads first, and then like from there, I would call your no-shows second, and then go hang out in your age leads. And like that's it. I think what a lot of times people do, and Jamie, we've had frustration a little bit with people who we've hired in the dot to dial for us in the past, is they'll spend a whole day dialing age leads and they're like, we're working, we're dialing. We made 500 dials today. And it's like, yeah, but you hung out in like that's cool if we don't have other people to call, but like new leads and no shows, that's like the low hanging fruit. That's the people we want to talk to first, and then age leads. And we get sidetracked too much. So like that's where you want to spend time if you're going to power dial. Outside the caveat to that is like I have a list on my whiteboard. If I'm going to actually, if you're just asking me in general, who do I want to follow up first? Well, the people I've talked to, I haven't sold yet, right? Like Robert has a couple of big annuities. I have a bunch of like bigger say, like I'm not talking about that. We're obviously talking about power dialing, but yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, 100%. So, a couple of things, guys. So, we are only releasing this to people who currently have a Lead Champ account right now. We will soon be releasing it to people who want this as a standalone product. The reason why is because we've set this up in a way that once you sign up and we come in here and we sync up your leads. Once this process here is done, we're going to do it for you. You don't need to do it. We'll sync up your leads. We click sync and it's done. Everything is where it's supposed to be. They're in the proper pipelines. There's Josh, how long did it used to take us to do someone's Kixie setup?
Oh gosh. So yeah, a few things on that. And Dylan, I got your questions. I'll add a few things here. So the Kixie integration, we built that. The what Kixie provides is, not a lot as far as integration. It didn't do very much. So we built this elaborate integration based on webhooks. If anybody knows what they are, right, you know what I'm talking about. So it was like passing a piece of data from LeadChamp to Kixie and back and forth every time you click a button. That's also a premium trigger, which makes everybody's bill go up to make that happen. So if you're on Kixie, we'll get to costs here in a moment, but this will take away any premium triggers. It doesn't use those. So your costs are going to come down probably $100 a month, maybe even more, depending on how many leads you have. That includes me and Jamie. Like we were on Kixie as well. So there's that. And it would take our team like a day to get somebody's account set up because it was a lot. If anybody knows what webhooks are, there was like 13 of them, which are like, yeah, it was just an absolute mess. So this doesn't have that at all. So there's a time savings for us, a cost savings for you, and simplicity, which we're very, very excited about. I'll ask, or Dylan had a couple questions. Will the dashboard be set up like this as well? Yeah, it does have a dashboard in this, so you can get call data. Will we be able to add a new list for think about it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can add stuff. I would say you don't need a list for think about it specifically because you don't want to power dial think about it. So think about it is somebody who you presented numbers, they have the information. So like power dialing through a list, you're not going to have a huge list to think about it, especially Dylan, you're a closer, right? You close like over half of everybody you talk to. I've seen your numbers. So your list of think about it are just not going to be that big. So like, I don't think you really want to be power dialing. I certainly wouldn't want anybody else calling my think about it other than me because I talk to those people. So that's my 2 cents on that. And then lastly, Jamie, yeah, second seats. Let's talk about that real quick. Do you want to cover that?
Yes, absolutely. So, you can have a second seat. We're currently only going to be doing 2 seats to start. We will open it up to have more than 2 seats, unless Josh, am I misspeaking there or?
No, that's good. I think the main thing about what is a seat,
Yes.
okay? So like more than one person on your account, right? Now, a seat is attached to one lead champ account, right? So can you have 42 seats and everybody call their own leads? No, you can't, right? So like if I have 2 seats, that's like me and then maybe my dialer can have her own login to call my leads,
Yeah.
right? So and I had like 2 seats. So like Drake and Francesca, 2 seats. Now, if you're on other platforms, typically you're paying full price per seat. So it's going to be the flat rate for the dialer is going to be 147. Now we'll go over some like the ancillary costs, numbers, etc. Why that's important. And then $75 a month for the second seat. So huge savings there. So if you're getting 2 seats, that's going to be cheaper than pretty much anything else you're going to do. So we're excited about that. That works out for us. So can you have 2 seats? Yes, you can.
Awesome.
Um, let's see. Should we cover like numbers and costs?
I think people just want to see me press the start calling
Yeah,
button real
yeah, go
quick,
ahead.
and then we can come back.
Crank it up.
Yeah, I think people just want to see that. So you can select time zones. I would just recommend keeping them all lit up. It cannot dial. It can, but there's a setting that it's not going to dial past 9 p.m. in any time zone. So if you're dialing and it's 11 p.m., it's going to adjust time zones and only call the people. So I would just leave all these checked personally. But we're gonna have more training on all the buttons. There's a lot of buttons in here. Some that you'll probably never need to press. Some that you'll press pretty often. So when I'm ready to call, I press the play button. starts to auto call here. And this right here, so I can see I've got name, email, phone number, lead source. There's this little button here that says lead info. So this is something we're going to be able to customize depending. So if you have custom fields, so if you're on Lead Champ Leads, you've got what's your income range, what's your primary goal, etc. You know, your age range, your occupation. If you have final expense leads, you might have favorite hobby, that kind of stuff. So that is something that, you know, it's a little custom. We'll work with you. We'll get them in there. So now you see all your custom leads. I know Derek is doing vet leads and he's doing IUL leads. So we'd be able to have the 4 questions on vet leads and the 4 questions on IUL leads. And depending on which lead you're calling, you'll see the answers to those questions right here. So you can kind of toggle back and forth between that. Number one. Number two, if I'm calling, you now have the ability to disposition your leads here, not just with a click, but you can also do it with your keyboard. So if we're talking about speed, I can do Shift A if I want to do no answer and move on to the next call. Shift B if I want to do not interested. And now when I click not interested, this is also going to kick back the not interested tag to Lead Champ and move them into your lost pile. Wrong number, it's going to add the wrong number. Do not call, of course, it's going to remove them. Appointment set. This one right here, this is, again, we'll have more training. Appointment set is really just going to move them out of your to dial pipeline, and it's going to add appointment set. By you clicking appointment set, that's not actually setting the appointment. That's just the final disposition. You've got 2 options. Is one, you come back to your Lead Champ, and let's say you're in here and you set the appointment there, and then you bounce back and you click appointment set. Or 2, you come over here to calendar. You got to make sure you select appointment calendar, add appointment, and then now this is going to pull up my Lead Champ calendar. I can give it an appointment title. I can check the date, and it's going to show my available time slots. So tonight I'm doing bedtime with the kids, so 6 o'clock is when I'm calling off. So it's showing my available time slots. So it is bringing over the calendar from Lead Champ. I go set the appointment here, appointment title, appointment description, confirmed. It is then going to kick off all the automations inside of Lead Champ. So you can set the appointment here. A couple other things. I scroll down. What do I see? I see the notes. I see the text messages. Hey, Jason, since looking into IULs. And then let's say I'm on the phone and I can come here and I can actually send this person a text message in this system, and it will then send it in high level or in Lead Champ. So all the text messaging that's happening in here is happening. It goes back and forth. So they basically, whether you message them in Lead Champ or you message them in here, they're going to be matched, which is great. Some of this stuff, there's not a lot that you're going to need to do here. I don't even know what half these buttons do, to be totally honest. Over here, you've got call. So if I wanted to dial this person again, click call. Maybe this guy answers. Let's see. All right, so let's say he answers. Great. I don't want to keep calling. I click there. If I want to do a voicemail drop, we'll do a training on how to do that. You can upload your own voicemail, and you can have that dropped in. There's the ability to do live transfers. We're not going to train a lot on that. We're probably not going to keep that option open, but it is available in the future as we perfect this. The ability to do live transfers from your appointment setter to you is possible with this system, which is great. A couple other things, you see dial attempts. So this is telling you how many times I've attempted to dial this guy. You can see what pipeline status that he's in. He's in the new lead section. So when I click no answer, theoretically, Josh, he should move next time I dial him to the second lead pipeline or second stage on Lead Champ, and it should show that right here. So yeah, this is how you disposition your leads, and showing your caller ID. So this is the phone number that you're calling from here in the top left corner. So I have like 10 phone numbers. I'll let Josh explain about the phone numbers in a second. What it's doing is it's calling from whatever is the closest phone number that I have in terms of geographic location. And yeah, you can see your call duration. It's tracking everything. Call back. This is kind of cool. So if I wanted to do call back, person says, "Hey, can you call me back at 3 o'clock?" And let's say you're like Drake and you're a power dialer. You live dial and you call to close. And he doesn't, let's say he's not setting appointments for the day and all he's doing is call to close. And he goes, "Can you call me back at 5?" I add call back in Drake's power dial session. it will then pop up with a notification at 5 o'clock on his screen being like, hey, call back Nick, it's 5 o'clock, and he can click and he can go call that person back. One of the last things I'll talk about is speed to lead. If you are in like your new lead section here and a new lead comes in, the next dial will be that new lead. Mid session, it will move to the newest lead. If you're dialing aged leads and a new lead comes in, it's not going to pop to that because you're not in the right bucket. But if you are in a mid dial session for your new leads and a new lead comes in, you will speed to lead dial that next lead, which is exciting. And then in order to end your dial session, it always says please select call this position first. I always just select no answer. If you select not interested, it's going to remove them from the pipeline. So just make sure you always click no answer, and then it will remove you from a session. Again, you can go ahead and just click play. If you hit this little pencil here, you're going to come in where you can edit campaigns. Please don't mess around in here right away. We're still figuring this out. But like for instance, these are like tags to skip. So it's like we'll show you guys some training, but like if you're like, I just want to dial my mortgage protection leads, what you do is you go in there and you type in tags to skip, final expense, IUL, life insurance, and then basically it's skipping over any lead that has final expense, IUL, life insurance. It's only calling your mortgage protection leads, or it's only calling your vet leads. I'm just going to dial everything. I don't care, but we'll give you guys some training on how to dial just one specific lead type. Josh, let's talk about phone numbers.
Yeah, so I already can, so a few things, right? So like we're gonna get to everybody, and let me just kind of process here. So we're gonna have a handful of people get started, because anytime, I don't care what it is, any platform, any technology, any new thing that you're gonna do, there's always like little questions and quirks and things. It happens like that always. So if you're among the first crew, we'd ask like, hey, give us grace. We're going to do everything we can to make it as smooth as possible. In addition to that, right, like there's a bunch of buttons to click. Like just don't click buttons. And then we're gonna beef up all of our training videos and explain everything. And some of the things you're gonna have questions about that we haven't thought about, and that'll help us too. With that said, here's kind of the general premises of like why we have this dialer, and there's a bunch of dialers out there. Is there a dialer that handles every single one of our major issues and it's perfect? No. And it's like one of those things where, lead champ as a CRM, is it like always the fastest clicking moving thing compared to like Google and other sites? No, it's not. It's not, right? If you've ever hit the no-show button and it didn't do what it's supposed to do the first click and you're frustrated, yeah, it does that for us too. There's a bunch of reasons why that is. But the alternative is to write it on a piece of paper, go have a tag list, type it in, go to the pipeline, move and drag it all around. And who wants to do any of that? And so for functionality, and like the word that gets thrown around a lot is being robust and doing a lot of things from one place, like that's definitely what this is. So a few things. Number one is with other dialers like Kixie, we've all used it. I've been using it for a while. It's easy and it does the auto number rotation. The issue is, and anybody that's been on Kixie for a while, you've noticed that you've been getting marked spam a heck of a lot of the time. The reason for that is you don't own the numbers and they're not registered. They're a shared pool of numbers. So you're going to just go to spam way more than you would like to. And so in order to avoid that as much as possible, and there's no like 100% foolproof way, but as we've learned more about it and we've seen the data, you can mitigate that to an extremely large degree. Number one, you need to own the numbers, i.e. purchase numbers. Number two, they have to be registered through something called Shake and Stir, which you're going to fill out a form, put in your like EIN, and information. It takes all of 3 minutes. I've done it. And that's going to register your numbers with the carriers. And then thirdly, you want to have, I would say at minimum, probably 5 to 8 numbers. Should you go crazy and get a number in every county or time zone or area code? No, you shouldn't. It lists out all the major area codes, and you can pick based on your lead volume and where you're calling. I'm probably going to have somewhere between 20 and 30 numbers myself. The reason being is you don't want uh, a certain call volume to land on any one number. You want that evenly dispersed. So if you have one or two numbers that are bearing 60% of the volume, it's more likely to put stress on that number and go to spam. So that's why you want multiple numbers. So that's one thing there. There's a few other things that are escaping me. Dylan says pop-up window coming call forward to your cell. As we know, Kixie really never did. When it comes in, or do you recommend a call? Yeah, speed to lead. So so Dylan just asked a question about speed to lead. Again, if you're in a dial session, it'll dial it. If you're in a dial session, right? I myself, I just know my day and the flow of my day. I'll probably dial, an hour here, an hour there. I'm not going to be living in the dialer. And so chances are there's going to be plenty of leads to come in. So I just have them come to my cell phone. So I'll probably just be calling those new leads from my cell phone. That's just how that is going to go. Cost per number. Do you know what the cost per number, Jamie, is? $2 a number or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's in here somewhere.
Yeah, there's a whole list of what everything costs.
Yes, we're gonna get that out. So it's $3 a number, and then it's like 2 cents a minute, maybe. I think is kind of the cost. And the only other thing is there's something in here that is not turned on yet. And if you guys can tell, we don't know how to navigate this whole thing since we had someone build this for us, and we're still learning all the different things. But there's something called local or not local presence. This is not what I'm looking for. Conversational intelligence. There we go. Conversational intelligence is a really fancy way to say that we have an AI that can summarize all of your phone calls and give you feedback on how you did. So that is something that is going to be launching out here in the next week or so, where let's say you get a new agent on here and we could say, hey, here's like the 6 things you need to do every time you book an appointment. It could then give feedback and tell them what they could have done better. Like, hey, that was a really great phone call, but you forgot to lock it down. You forgot to clear the schedule. You forgot to do this. Or, hey, you hit every single one of the things on this. But there will be an AI summarizer that will be able to summarize all your calls and shoot that back to your lead champ notes, which is great. So similar to having like an Otter AI or something on a Zoom call. It's not quite as advanced, but it will give you some basic. It's not going to summarize everything that was said, but the prompting that we have in there will be like, hey, appointment was booked. Hey, they did this and that person was skeptical, or hey, so they scored a 7 out of 10 on booking the appointment. So there's some stuff that's coming, which is pretty cool. But yeah, $3 per month per line. This is a credit system. So just so people don't get confused, we'll have a document. 1 credit equals 1 cent. So if you see 300 credits, it means $3. So just keep things really simple. When you purchase, your card will be on file with Stripe, just like with LeadChamp. And then anything you do will just be automatically attributed to that. You don't need to worry about reloading your billing, as far as I know. Once you purchase, it should theoretically all just be in here. And when you go by numbers, you'll be good to go. So, yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of buttons. We got this little launch pad here where you can come in and watch a little video about how to do your shake and stir, and all of that. There's a little knowledge base. These are like notifications. I don't know what any of these notifications are. Missed calls would be found here. Again, yeah, I'm learning as we go here, guys. Oh, here's how I find my text messages, I guess. And this is how you change your status. So if you want to put on like a do not disturb or something so no one can call you, you can do that. Manage your profile and your settings. So yeah, a lot of things to look at. It's exciting. We're going to get a few people in here today, and we'll get some feedback, and then we're going to get a website out to everybody where they can go and they can get a subscription, and it will automatically create your account, send you your login info, all that stuff, and we can go from there. So give us a little bit of grace. It took a really long time, so you've already given us a lot of grace, but just give us a little bit more if you get in there and you don't know where to go or how to navigate, because we're still learning it too. I think it all works. I think it's just a matter of we might not know off the top of our head everywhere to click. We got some training videos to record. The guy who built it for us, his name's Mark. He is just an absolute powerhouse in regards to like calling, dialing. Like, not like there's a lot of people out there who are like automations and text. Like, this is like the dial pro, this guy Mark, and we're gonna have him on our team call one of these weeks, and you guys will get to learn some of the things that he's built, some of the massive call center type businesses that he manages right now. And he does a lot, and he built this in a very strategic way so that we could get more people to answer, speed to lead, not get marked spam as often, all those things. So I'm very excited for that. Any final thoughts, Josh?
No, I mean, I think we covered it. So good stuff. I mean, I'm ready to get to work and get some beneficiaries. Scott asked, when will this be available? I don't believe that we screen shared anybody's personal information, so we can probably check this out on our YouTube channel
On YouTube, yeah.
pretty soon. Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing. If we share any personal information via LeadChamp screen share, we can't put it on YouTube. So, but anyway, yes, we'll have this out. We'll be reaching out to people, and we'll get it out as quickly as possible, and so everybody can use it. I'm gonna go finish setting up my account 'cause I haven't dialed in it. I've been in it, looking at it, being jealous of Jamie mostly. But anyway, appreciate everybody. Make sure you're in the Discord. We'll be doing updates there, and we'll be back next Wednesday for our next call. And we'll bring something exciting. Everybody have a great day.